Morning, how are you all? Are you well? Welcome to Natasha Makes. It is Tuesday. Looks like I haven't tidied up, doesn't it? Actually, we've just got quite a lot on the show today. Suddenly realised as I was going through it, and we can add that to the show and this to the show, and ooh, I quite fancy a bit of this, that and the other. This is not the show I planned. I'll tell you that from the get-go, in complete honesty. But Friday afternoon, I had a phone call from my guest saying, "Oh yeah, no, can't come now on Tuesday, childcare, blah blah blah." So we have postponed that show. But wait for that. That'll be July now, and that's going to be awesome. I'm so excited for that show. And so we had to get a fill-in show, and this had been in the offing for a little while. I'd had things in place because, always thinking ahead, and it just so happened that it almost all came together. Then I was on Hochanda on Friday and doing one of their one-day specials, and stuff sells out, quite early on and whatnot. So you can never plan your demos too much in advance. So the last one that I did actually turned out to be the sample that I loved the most out of all of the makes that I'd made over the 5 hours that I'd been there. And it was this. I'm going to show you a little close up here. Which is a little EPP pouch. It's got a leather base and some little EPP there from Tim Holtz, because it was a Tim Holtz show that I was doing. And actually what happened was something went wrong with my machine a minute before I was due to finish this. So nobody saw it. Nobody saw it. Nobody saw the finished thing. I was gutted. I was so pleased with it. I was gutted. And so it occurred to me that I've been secret squirreling. Now, what does that mean? What that means is I have been planning some exclusive things for Natasha Makes, which take a little while to come to fruition. And the Tim Holtz English paper piecing packs, yeah, I'm not going to say that very often or very fast, were one of them. So here's the thing. I have got exclusive to Natasha Makes the entire Bon Voyage Tilde range in English paper pieced pre-cut hexes, 1.5 inch and 2.5 inch. I have got Moda French General, the Chafakani fabrics, again in an English paper pieced pack, 1.5 inch and 2.5 inch. They are on the website. I have got a Tim Holtz collection with some Modas thrown in. Moda Grunge goes beautifully, some of their plains goes beautifully. Basically all the fabrics that we had on the Tim Holtz show the other week. Again, pre-cut hexes, which is what this has been made from. 1.5 inch and 2.5 inch. And then you can buy still, do you remember we had the leather scrap bags? And these came from a top leather handbag designer, and you get all sorts of pieces in. You can go for a 250 gram bag or a 500 gram bag. The leather for this came out of one of those bags. And so you can get your hexes, I'll show you how to make it, and you can get your leather and off you go. Or I promised you, didn't I, when we brought the leather, I promised you that I would also get the PU leather, the pleather, as we like to call it, because not all of you feel comfortable with leather. Totally respect any viewpoints on that. So the kits that I have got for you today feature pleather, okay? And I've got it in dark brown, I've got it in taupe, and I've got it in silver. I also have a bolt of it that I've ordered in gorgeous navy. They are arriving today. So these kits will be make-up. So any of the English paper piece kits that you order today, there will be a couple of days delay getting them out, just because obviously I had to order everything Friday afternoon. and it will arrive today. So that's that really. And we'll show you. Let's see who's here, shall we, this morning? We haven't done that yet. Turn the volume down. Good morning, Ali. Good morning, Ali. Who have we got? We've got Jennifer. We've got Helen. We've got Linda. We've got Amanda. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, and Lincoln. We have got Jane as well from sunny Yorkshire, and Shirley. Good morning. And Tina as well, and Geraldine. Hello. You're not working today. And she works very hard. It's not any kind of comment on that. And Beverly and Della. Good morning. From a sunny Cornwall. It's blooming miserable here and cold. So, oh, hello, June. Let me just get my winter jumpers out. We were expecting you. Who else have we got? Janet and Pam and Carol. Good morning to all of you. That's lovely that you were all joining us this morning. Thank you very much indeed. Right. So, as you know, we are moving warehouse. So, as we start to sort through things, I'll pop a little discount if it's something that I just need rid of before we move in there. And the rest of the long quarters and the half-metre bundles from the new Tilda collection, I've only got a handful of those. There's no point in it taking up a whole bay when I've only got a handful left. 10% off. They're on the deals page on the website. If you've never shopped with us before, natashamakes.com, www. and all that stuff first, and click on the deals page, or where you can watch us live, click on watch live, and everything on today's show will be underneath there for you. So what else do we have? Also new in, I touched upon it yesterday, the Best Press Spray. This is your best value. It's slightly more expensive than getting the little bottles, but so much better value. So I figured, let's be savvy about this. Let's just get the bigger bottles and it will last you so much longer. I've got it in linen fresh, smells gorgeous. And I've also got it scent free because my mum doesn't like stuff being sprayed around the place. So we've also got a scent free one. They do come, by the way, with those. So let's pop those out of the way, and that will be one less thing on my table. Some of you have spotted these. These have already been selling. I'm not sure if you can actually see it in detail. Basically, this is from Studio E. It has absolutely nothing to do with the pouches that we're doing today, but it was fabric that I don't want to move into the warehouse, and it was a bit of fun. So I thought, let's cheer up Tuesday. So this is what we've got. You can get a metre. This is what it looks like. This is a metre of it. Now you can either have that as the panel in the middle of your quilt, or this is why I'm left it as a metre, because you can also cut it in strips and have it around something, and then I thought you can basically then mix and match your own fabrics to go with it, because I have coordinating fabrics. So I think I called this one the Animal Lineup. This is all from Studio E. Oh, come on, there we go. Oh, there's my cup of tea out the way. Whoops. And so you've got sand, and then I called it the Animal Lineup. Isn't it gorgeous? Aren't they fabulous? So if you wanted to go for that with that, then it just gives it a more neutral feel. Or if you just fancied those, because actually, do you remember the storage boxes that we did? They would look gorgeous out of one of those. And if I have any left over, that's probably exactly what I will do with that. And then we've got, I think I was that this was all happening very early this morning. So I think I ended up calling these imaginatively multi-directional animals with grey. Yeah, right? So you've got your zebra again, you've got your elephant, you've got your hippo, you've got your lion, and then what jungle would be complete without a little crocodile? I thought that was a dragon actually when I looked at it yesterday. It's not. It's a crocodile, isn't it? And a bee that looks like a kite. It's quite amazing. I love this fabric. So you've got that option as well, or you also have zebras. This one just reminds me of Madagascar, doesn't it? Look at the eyelashes. It's a bit bonkers. It's a bit too much grass going on there. And then you've got the elephants. Now, we chose this really soft pink because when I say we, this is Inga, and Inga's doing a lot of my cutting with me now, just so that we can cut everything for you all. So we spent hours. She was also here when I did the FaceTime fabric matching with Brandon a few weeks ago. And so the question that we look at each other and we just go, what would Brandon say? That's kind of become our mantra. When we're matching colours in with stuff, we go, what would Brandon say? Do you coordinate it or do you make it stand out? And it's always the question. So that's our mantra. So we thought, look, you've got your little piggies and stuff there, and it just works a treat. So you've got that option as well, because we discussed whether or not to put pink with it, and we thought, well, then it's got blue as well, and then you've got pink. Not that it matters, because you go back 100 years and pink was for boys anyway, but some people get het up about it. So there we go. That's that. Also, yeah. Put that there. Also, what do I have? Also, what's this? What is this? Oh, I know what this is. Look. Yeah. So, Freddie was playing with Theo with this morning. And you know when sometimes you just don't want to ask too many questions? Because obviously it's that time of year when we do get the odd baby bunny in with the cats. And Freddie was like, I'm just playing with Theo and a little bunny. And I just thought, just don't ask. Don't ask, because if you ask and it's not what you want it to be, you're going to have to do something about it. So I just let that one wash over. Not great parenting. And happily, it must have been that, which is good. But there have been times where I have, Mummy, I've got a rabbit in my bedroom. It's like, what? In fact, I was stood here doing a show the other day, and out the corner of my eye, I saw a little rabbit hop past the door. If only people knew. If only people knew what really goes on. It is quite bonkers sometimes. And I did do a double take. Remained professional at all times, clearly. Oh, I know. So when we launched, when we launched the Tilda Bon Voyage range, bear in mind, I don't know how many more Tilda ranges we'll get this year because of, circumstances and all that. Yeah, so this could be it on the old Tilda front for a little bit this year. We launched the Fia dolls. Now, I've never done this before. This is the Fia doll. Here she is. But I managed to find the hair. And there she is in her little bag and everything else. So, what I've done is I matched that religiously with the hair colour and everything. Got really excited when the hair arrived and sent them all out. Forgot to add in the body fabric, had to send that out as well. So apologies to everyone for that. Now, I've done because I've got different hair colour, of course, because, that's a thing too. As we can see, lots of different hair colour going on. So now we've got dark brown, brown and ash blonde, or is it just the blonde, kits. And Inga's, oh hi Theo, Inga's done them, there we go, in different colourways for you. She's put them all together. She had great fun working them all out. And they are beautiful, they are up on the website and they are ready to go. Yeah. Wait, not on the fabrics. No, thank you. Rude. Apologies for that. You do not come in a blute on the fabrics, Theo. Right, what else? So the other thing is that the hair, and actually I've got some other colours that I've ordered. They'll be here tomorrow, and so they're up on the website as well. So I'll have some more blonde, ash blonde, brown, dark brown. They're all on there. Aren't they cute? Like, I don't knit or anything like that. I am an awful knitter. really awful. If I ever offer to knit you something, just politely decline. Inga's the knitter around here. She makes up the most gorgeous, gorgeous things. So that is the doll's head. But you know, that's not too daunting for me. I can cope with a ball of wool like that. And so that's on the website. So we need a little catch up before we get cracking. And also, I know that a lot of you have been making for grandchildren, and actually I had one lady, and I'm so sorry I haven't messaged you back. I've just been ridiculous here, there, and everywhere. Who was after fabric to make the bears. More on that in a minute. And I kind of did this with you in mind. Basically, with the Tilda toys, you can make a toy 9 times out of 10 out of a fat quarter of fabric. So here we've got the caramel and the stone. Are you just going to march and sit on my kits? Have you got clean paws? This is Theo, everyone, by the way. This is Theo that got hit by the car when we were at Stitches, and I had to leave quite quickly. But I was having a gin, and he went and got hit by a car. It was most inconvenient. Yeah, so he's all better now, aren't you? Hey? But he's part ragdoll and part Bengal tiger, and so the kids basically just throw him under an arm. Look, I'll show you how he gets dragged around the house. Theo, come here. So basically, I don't know if he'll let me do it. They just have him like this, and this is how he really doesn't care. He really doesn't care. And that's how he plays with the kids, and he swipes their fish fingers off their plates and all sorts. He's a good sport. He's a real good sport. And then the Bengal tiger, red mist, descends, and he has to go out and catch half the wildlife and bring it back in for us to share. Right, so anyway, where were we? Yeah, Tilda doll fabric. This is not always easy to find. If any of you have tried to make the Tilda dolls out of cheaper plain fabric, you'll know that actually it's a bit of a nightmare. Go for this. Go for this. This is proper doll and toy making fabric from Tilda herself, and I've done it in kind of in 2 different colorways, and you can have it by fat quarter or half meter. It's not cheap fabric, I'll tell you that now. It's not cheap fabric, but it's a thicker fabric, and it's what she uses to make all of her toys in. So there we go. Right. And it's not always readily available either. Talking of not always readily available, magic pins, I've got a few of those back in stock, but only the 100 packs. I'm still waiting on the 50s. They're back in. God, it's like doing a little stock take this morning. The lint magnet, you've already started finding that, but that takes up all the rubbish out of your cutting mat. For those of you that use a self-healing cutting mat. What else? We're getting there. Oh, I know. I don't think I ever showed you the Sally Tomato 3/4 inch basic hardware kits. Ooh, let me show you these. Again, only a handful left because some of you have found them, but I never put them on a show yet. I got these in ready for Mrs. H, and of course then lockdown happened. Mrs. H didn't come back because she's still locked down. So I thought, well, you know, I can always get more. And in the meantime, I've got rose gold and I've got gold from Sally Tomato, who is very high end. Very high end. And talking Sally Tomato, I've got a handful of her 3 yards of basically you cut it to side, zip pulls, and I think you get 9 pulls in there. I've got a handful of those in various colours on the website. Now, I realise not everyone has a Sally Tomato budget because she is a little bit pricey. But it is beautiful, and you always get what you pay for. But for those of you that want to try zips where you basically cut it to whatever length you want, I've got this is like the budget version. I've got 5 meters of rose gold, number 5, because that was what Mrs. H always said to use for bags and stuff, was number 5 or number 3. I've got number 3 in the rainbow, but I have a feeling that might have sold out. So again, rose gold colour, not actual gold, and a nylon zip, rose gold colour, and you can either have it with the rose gold zip pulls, or I also have a few with the gunmetal, which I quite like having the contrast of the two. So I thought I'd show it today. There we go. So you can either have that in a rose gold colour or in the gunmetal. And I think, what did we put? I think they were just £9.99 for 5 metres. Oh, they're new. Yeah. And I've also got it in a white and rose gold as well. But like I say, I mean, it's not the absolute exquisite quality that you get from Sally Tomato, but it's also less than half the price for 5 metres as opposed to the 3 yards. So, you know, if you just want to experiment with it, then it's you know, it's don't get me wrong, it's not bad quality at all. I'm honest. I'm honest. Right. Let me see. So, in the kits today, we are getting there, by the way. We are getting there. Anybody got any questions as I go along, by the way? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hola, Gemma, hola. Good morning, Davina. Good morning, Pam. Good morning, Jennifer. Oh, and me? What are you and meing about? Oh, just bought the jungle fabric this morning. Really excited for today's show. Oh, thank you. I've got, actually, I do have some more baby quilt kits on their way, and they will be complete quilt kits as well, and they are beautiful in greys and yellows and all gorgeous things. Hi from sunny Devon. Hello, hello. Sunny Neath from Val. Hello. June's here. Morning, June. And yes, we did have a lot of fun yesterday, so thank you. Oh, Linda's got sunshine and broken blue skies in Newton Abbot. Oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. Susie, I will ring you. I got caught up in shows. I'm so sorry. But you are sat in your car at the garage waiting for your car. You know how to live, don't you? Living it up. Yeah, the trouble was you were walking your dog in the one window that I had free that day. We will get there. Gabriel Tracy, congratulations on being a grandmother. She's actually got to meet her. She had a very premature grandbaby, and she's actually got to hold him now. It's very exciting. And Petra, watching you on YouTube, big screen, always better. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Should have had my HD makeup on. Right, okay, so yeah, so the kits for this, if you want to do the leather version, then you can basically make up your own kits with it, because the kits that I've got for you have all got a big pack of English paper piecing pre-cut hexies in there, so you just need to get your scrap leather. Now, I used a metal zip with this, shock horror, and I haven't put a metal zip in the kit because I don't know how you at home feel about it. What I've done is I've put it as an optional extra. This is actually, I think, was it 9-inch? When I measure zips, I measure them the actual length of the zip, not the endy bits, just the actual teeth bits. That's how I measure them, just so that you know. And that's 9 inches. And then, but then I also found, so I had to get them, these. Aren't these pretty? I've used these on makeup bags with Tilda fabric before, and they're gorgeous. They're like lace. Aren't they pretty? And actually incredibly easy to put on because you just stitch along there. And that's it. There's none of this sandwiching business. You want that to show. Yeah, I thought they were really pretty. So I've got a handful of those as well. So they are your zip upgrades. Oh, feels like it's all about zips this morning. Okay, right, let me show you the kits that I have got then, shall I? Theo, I'm watching you. Don't think I'm not. Right. Now Inga, bless, I've got to be so careful. Bless her this morning. I said, Inga, could you just, I need to take a photo of the English paper piecing packs. Again, don't say that quick. Could you just lay them out for me, please? So she did, and now I have no idea how I'm going to show you these at all. Now, you will notice, if you're on the website, a slight difference in price. And that's because I just didn't have quite so much of the Tim Holtz fabric. So with the Chafakani and the Tildas, you are going to get at least 29. And or is it 28? And oh, I've ruined it now. And I say that because I thought I'd sent 28, and then we counted up a pack and there were 29, and then one of them had 30. So they have at least 28 in them. But the Tim Holtz has, and I'm just doing this so I can change it to there. The Tim Holtz has 22 pre-cuts in there. So you've got 22 there. Beautiful. I mean, imagine, look, hang on. I'm going to have to swap and show you this. Because, oh, no, that's the wrong one. That one. There, look, imagine having that English paper pieced. Well, that was the eggs. But you see also, you know I bought you the coordinating fabrics that just work beautifully with them. You start to get an idea, and then you've got some of the moders in there. So any of the plains or the grunges are moder. So that's your that is your Tim Holtz, and again you can buy that as an English paper packed pre-cut pack, 2.5 inch or 1.5 inch. If you're buying the kit, it's already in there. You get all 22 pieces in a 1.5 inch hexie. That's a finished 1.5 inch hexie, by the way, a finished size. And all of these coordinate with the House of Alistair pre-cut English paper pieced packs of card. I mean, I've used mine, but if you look on the website for those, they're all there. So if you're buying the 1.5 inch hexie pack, you buy the 1.5 inch hexie pre-cuts. Now, as soon as the Tilda came in, which was a little while ago now, I was like, I have to have that in an English paper pieced form, because a lot of Emily's quilt that I English paper pieced for her was Tilda. And so I was like, might have to do her like a little dolly quilt or something. So from day one, that was always going to be in there. So that was all of the different fabrics that I had, and I think I bought the whole range. Isn't that beautiful? And again, just imagine if, oh, I keep doing that, sorry. If that, I mean, it is just exquisite. And you've also got in there, I did put in that little tea towel one because it was just really sweet. And then you've also got those ones in there, and these, all cuts, as well as having your ditsies and those in there, and your paper flowers, and your hairs, that's all in there. So that's the 2.5 inch size. Obviously the 1.5 inch is smaller. There you go. I would just like to state the obvious this morning. And then the other fabrics that I had that clearly needed to be English paper pieced, and again, between 28 and 30 pieces per pack. So I've done the pricing on it being 28, but you might, 28 or 29 or 30. And this is, let me get the right camera. There, that is your Chafakani, which is Moda, French General, beautiful. So you've got your neutrals, you've got your pinks, you've got those rich reds, all in there. Absolutely gorgeous, just gorgeous, blinking gorgeous. And I've had all of these cut exclusively for you guys. Like you will search the website, you won't find this anywhere else, and certainly not in these bundles, because I had it all done for you. Yes, I did. So for English paper piecing, if you need glue pens and glue refills, we've got that. I'll show you how to use those in just one moment. Oh, fab. The kits, let's get on to that. So you have got 2 Tilda options, a Chafakani option and a Tim Holtz option. We're going to demo with the Tim Holtz option so that you can see how it will be different from that one, but still gorgeous. In each kit, and let me show you, bear with me and bear in mind that a lot of this is arriving today, but you will get, in each kit, you will get a fat quarter of H640. That is fusible wadding fleece, whatever you want to call it. And we use that because when I was using the leather, it just helped give body to the lining fabric, the top half of the fabric rather, and bring it up to the same sort of consistency. Right, you will get a fat quarter of your silver pleather. You will also get, this is the Tilda one, you will also get a fat quarter of this beautiful petrol. This is Tilda petrol. And I had this, I did have, oh, and a zip, there's your zip there. But I just wanted to show you how beautifully these go. You will also get the 1.5 inch pre-cut hexi pack, the whole shebang. Okay. But how beautifully does that go with that? Which will then go with the silver. You'll get a full fat quarter, by the way. And then lined with, show you these over here. So that's your lining fabric there, which is your Sophie. That is your petrol, which I think is gorgeous. And then that is, so you'll have, the bottom of your pouch will be silver. You'll have that lovely petrol, and then that. And so that's your kit. Plus, obviously full instructions when they come off the printer, and thread, and the fleece, the zip, the thread, the pleather, the 2 different Tilda fabrics, and then all of your pre-cut hexes. How much would you pay for a whopping great big kit like that? Basically, I've put the instructions in for free, so that was coming in at, I want to say maybe $27.99. And you only use, you don't use very much, so you might even get 2, but you would need to boost your zip bundle. But I've got zip bundles on the website, so you can always have another look at that. So that is one option. Now, obviously, I'm not going to open up another one of those to show you the full amount. So let me show you the other colorway for the Tilda. So again, you get the zip, you get a coordinating thread. Colors may vary slightly on the thread, but it all coordinates. This time you're going to get that purple ditzy, and this is your aubergine. All right, so let me show you. That's your lining fabric, and then this is your aubergine, which is just stunning. And again, that is a Tilda fabric. And of course, you are also getting your zip, thread, fleece, and so there's your silver pleather there, and then your aubergine, and that's your lining. So that would be your choice there. But I just think they work beautifully together. Yeah. And then you choose which ones you want. You get the full range, so maybe you want to go greys, maybe you want to go the purples or the reds. It's entirely up to you. That's that one. With your thread and your zip as well. Then let's show the Chafakani, and then we'll crack on with the demo. So the Chafakani, there's your zip. It'll be either white or cream. Oh, I forgot to say, in each of these you will get the 5 little paper pieces that you need for this. I've got to cut those, but you will get them. And again, you know, if you're going for the Chafakani, you get the full 1.5 inch kit. I love this one. I don't know which is my favourite. Inga and I couldn't decide this morning. We're like, oh. So you've got your tan, or your taupe rather, your taupe pleather with this one. And I couldn't decide whether I would put my French General fabric as the lining or have it on the outside. But I've also got there the glorious, it's kind of a lichen colour, which actually brought out the pink. This was our what would Brandon do moment this morning. We were like, would you merge it with that? No. I would have as the top half, but you can choose. I would have as the top half of my pouch, I would have that green, because it brings out all the greens in these fabrics. But the pinks look beautiful against it as well, and the reds just, oh. So that would be bottom half, top half. How lush is that going to look? And then you open it up and, Mode of French General. I like to bring your top quality stuff, you know. That's that bundle there. And like I say, you will get your little pre-cuts as well. And then this is the Tim Holtz version. So you've got your lining fabric. Well, again, I couldn't decide which one you'd want for your lining fabric. You've got your Moda Distressed Grunge Spot, and then you've got a Vanilla Batik, and then you've got your chocolate there, and then I've obviously cracked into this and started sewing, which I'll show you in a minute. But then you'll get all of your English paper pieces and a navy zip with this, and of course your fusible fleece as well. All in there. And you'll get 5 of those as well. All in. Now this one is £1 cheaper because, like I say, there you go. That's what they end up looking like. That's your 1.5 inches. That's what they end up looking like. Because there are 22, not 28 of these. So I knocked off £1 in the interest of fairness. So if you're looking at it going, why is that less expensive? That's why. That is why. So, anybody who watched my Hochanda show will realise that, oh yeah, these were my other thread choices. That goes with that one. What was I saying? Oh yeah. That I was experimenting as I go. And I'm not afraid to say that. I'm not someone who likes to follow patterns or anything like that. So it was all a little bit of an experiment, which happily, I think turned out nicely. I'm just plugging the iron in. I'll be back in a minute. Oh, hi. Oh, talking of irons, the pressing mat is back. If you want it in the black and the white, then go for it. If you want to wait for the new colour, which is kind of like a bluey grey colour with a black binding, they are in production, and as soon as I get those, then I will let you know, and I'll have those in 2 different sizes, one the same as that, and then one which is about A3 size. So but the pressing mats are back. We are going to demo with the Tim Holtz. The very first thing to do is to get your which ones do you? I love this red. Let me show you with the red. Pick out your fabrics and decide which ones you're going to do where. Now, you're only going to do that. I didn't want to go for a full round. So you're only going to do 1 in the middle and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 around the outside, like that. Okay. But this is how you put them together. So, pop that in there. This is the joy, right, of using your pre-cuts, is that it's all beautifully done for you. Where's my glue? What have I done with my glue? Aha, here it is. I'll start this off, then I'll show you the glue. Just gently down one side, a little bit of glue. It will go on one colour. Don't worry. The reason I'm not showing you the first one is because I want to show you the second bit. Oh, I've got to be careful now. Here we are. When you get your glue, it might be blue, it might be yellow, but it goes on coloured and then it dries colour free. And then just push over, use your finger, just push it over, press it down like that. And again, along there, not much, like that is ample, absolutely ample. Press down. Press down. Obviously it's much easier if you just do it on a desk, but you're using the edge of that paper, there you go, to give you a nice crisp finish. So if you don't want to hand baste with thread, that is your quick and easy way to just baste your English paper pieces together. All right, now We covered the other day how to sew English paper pieces on. And it is just a little whip stitch. And I just wanted to show you. So if I were to do a complete round here, then I would so that's where the gap is there, and I would just put that in there and just whip stitch along there, and you can see my stitches along there, and that's okay to be able to see those. That's why I've put in a coordinating thread, so that actually you won't see those. I did this for TV so you can see them, and then sew along there. Now when you come to want to sew along there, obviously that will be sewn on, and you need to sew those two together. Here's the thing, fold it. There's paper in there, just fold it and then whip stitch along there. Your needle will, if it's hard to push through, then it's because you're trying to go through the card. You are literally just going to go through the top threads, and that's it. If you go any more than that, then you've gone in too far, and you'll end up seeing loads of stitches, but that you'll just see a little bit, and that's okay. Just a little bit, and that's absolutely fine. And with your coordinating threads that you're getting in your kit, you really won't notice it at all. Now let's talk, so slightly different this time, because normally we sew it and that's all good. But I wanted to talk about taking them out. I've taken the middle one out already. Now before I start taking anything out, what I do, this is personal preference, what I do is press. I will press, get a little bit of best press spray or a starch spray, something like that. There we go. And that's why having the misting bottle is great, because you don't soak it. It just gives you that fine misting, and it makes your best press go a lot further. So I would literally just press that. Now that's going to give me super crisp edges, so that when I take that out, that's all going to be good. Now what I tend to do is I've just cut my nails, so otherwise I would scratch them open. But if you don't have nails, Freddie started biting his, we're going nuts at him. You can put a needle in there and just run your needle along there, but otherwise just peel them off. This is why I say to you, don't put too much glue on. And as they start to come out, you can reuse these, absolutely reuse them, no problems at all. And they come, and I want to show you this, okay, because a lot of you are like, oh, well, can I reuse? Yes, you can. Now because I've already pressed that, it only takes one little blast, and let me show you this. That has really pristine edges. You can see where my needle has kind of gone along the edge, but it hasn't gone through the card. It's just caught it a little bit. That I can use again, time and time again. I can use that again. That's no problem at all. And these are all recycled when they come in your kit. They're all recycled, so just keep using them. They're 180 GSM. They're the perfect weight. So there we go. That is that. And so just take out all of these. And then I've got a complete hack for you that I discovered the other day and I absolutely love. Are there any questions before we move on? Great fabrics. Thank you, Anne. You love the zebras. It does look very Madagascar, doesn't it? Absolutely. So I just peel these out. I like this stage. I find it quite satisfying. Anybody else got anything they need to say? Oh, a bonkers home is a happier home. Yours sounds very happy. It's utterly nuts. I tell you, honestly, you couldn't write half the stuff that goes on here. It's just ridiculous. What will I be selling the Tilda body material on its own? Probably yes. Well, they're in Fat Quarter duos at the moment. Did you want them just on their own? Is that what you were after? Let me know. Oh, Nanny Mew's watching. Morning, Nanny Mew. How are you, my love? Are you okay? Are you feeling a bit better? It's not been very nice weather down there, I don't think. Good morning from Roshire. You see, that's a shire that I never think of. There are lots of sort of up that way, lots of sort of shires that I never know. That's what comes of just being in Warwickshire. Yeah, so as I take them out, I just press them again, and having that best press spray on there helps keep it nice and crisp. Theo made you laugh. Try living with Theo. Actually, no, he does make us laugh. He's a good boy. He does make us laugh most days. Maud, our otter hound, got into the kitchen this morning. She got an ear infection. She was meant to be having her ears squirted and cleaned. Instead, she made a dash for it, made a run for it into the kitchen, and Theo just sat on the table and went kapoof across the face. I was like, a bit mean there, Theo. No need for that. And he was kind of like, she wasn't meant to be here. Can't argue. Can't argue. Have you got clean paws? Well, it's a valuable question, you know. It is a valuable question. Sometimes he marches in here with the most filthy paws. I'm like, meh, out you go. Out you go. Theo is social distancing. Yeah, right. Right. Okay, so you can use those again. That's no problem. Give those a little press. And this is my newfound hack, which I absolutely love. Right. You can hand stitch that onto the top of your fabric if you wish. Of course you can. But I have found... oh, are you getting more colours of binding back in? I'm working on it, Nancy, but we've also uploaded by the meter satin bias binding. It's a bit gorgeous. It's from Italy. If you get the cheaper stuff from sort of China and whatnot, you can get iron scorch marks on it, but the Italian stuff is divine, absolutely divine, and it's just beautiful. So that's on the website as well. And yes, there will be more colours going up by the metre and also by the 50 metre roll as well, which is very exciting. What else? Watching from your vegetable plot. Sarah. Well, it's all good, isn't it? What are you doing here? What have you got in your vegetable pot, Sarah? I need to come investigate. Please, could I tell you what the measurements for the Alistair Jardinier panel is? Oh my goodness. I'll have to have a little look. Janet, you wanted the 2.5 inch, but didn't realise we did the 1.5 inch. Can you swap over? That is a job for SJ, lovely SJ. She'll be like, oh great, thanks for passing that on. Any questions like that about your orders or anything else, and I say this every week, please don't put them on Facebook because I will miss them. I don't go on there. We are working so hard at the moment because we're so understaffed because of the virus and everything else. I'm not on Facebook like I normally am, and it's not the place for inquiries because they can get missed and then you get upset because you think we're ignoring you and we're not. We just haven't seen it. So if you've got any queries to do with any of your orders, please, 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 can it go to info@natashamakes.com, info@natashamakes.com. SJ works normal office hours, and so she will answer those within those office hours. Obviously, if you send them later, it'll be dealt with the next day as well. So there we go. We started off, when we first started, we were all working crazy hours, and I had to kind of rein it back and say to them, look, you know, obviously Natasha Makes is my business, and if I choose to work stupid hours, that's up to me, but it's not, you guys don't have to work stupid crazy hours, because we were getting inquiries at all kinds of day and night, and I'm like, look, if it's outside office hours, you have a life too. So that's why. Oh, the kits are very comprehensive. Yeah. Yeah. And I've tried to bring them at a really reasonable price. And you'll see how much you use of it in a minute. So for a fat quarter of each, I reckon you could make 2. Just pop an extra zip bundle in, or if you've got a zip at home, or upgrade one of the zips or whatever. And I wanted you to have stuff that would then last as well. It's making stuff affordable, isn't it? We all have our own budgets. We all work to our own budgets, but then also if you wanted to do the leather version, then just get one of the little, get one of the leather scrap bags and build your own. Right. Oh, thank you very much, Rachel. I wouldn't think about wearing a winter jumper in June, but here we are. What else? Nails are jewels, not tools, Natasha. Not here, Gemma. They have to work hard here. You know the state of my nails. Right, so we've done this. My hack. I keep getting distracted today. Oh, I don't know why I'm sending that anywhere else. I need that back. Right, so a lot of you have got the Misty Fuse, and I thought, I know that a lot of you have bought it. You can also use Heat and Bond. I've got that as well. But Misty Fuse is my newfound favourite love. And if you've not seen it, it's like a spider's web, but it's perfect for applique. And I think I have managed to convince Kath Hardcastle, and yes, we will get more of Kath's designs on soon. We're working on that now that she's back out of hospital. This is my newfound favourite thing because it's so light to work with and it doesn't add any kind of bulk to your work. I mean, it really is. It's like working with spider's webs, but without that feel. It's almost so soft you can't feel it. It's really wonderful stuff. So I thought, right, you guys have bought it from me. I'd better give you some projects to use it with, right? Because otherwise it's not fair. And then also your goddess sheet. Naomi, I have a question for you about the goddess sheet. So a lot of you bought the goddess sheets and then they sold out. I had an order placed and they didn't come through. So I know that, Naomi, you are missing a goddess sheet at the moment. Do you want to wait for the new delivery, which is on its way from the States? It just keeps being delayed because Misty Fuse was shut down for a while with the virus. And they're a little company in New York and you lot, I'm going to blame everybody else here, all of you Natasha Makes viewers have absolutely... The company I get these from said they have never sold so many. What are we doing? They've never sold so many. So there's been a bit of a run on them. The alternative is, and the reason I like these is because you have on the top right hand corner, instead of the 90 degrees, it's a curved one. So as long as you always keep that in the top right hand corner, you're not going to mess up your iron or anything because you know which side to use. So my question is, I've got the June Taylor Teflon pressing sheets, which effectively do the same thing. They just don't have the curvy corner. If you want to cut that curvy corner on, then you can. It does the same thing. So if you want that, because that's not available yet, then I will send that. Or if you want to wait, then that's up to you. So, rough cut around. And this doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, but go a bit larger if you need to. Now with Bondaweb, you'd be doing this absolutely perfectly, wouldn't you? Whoop-de-doop-de-doo. So yeah, if anything, go over. There's little bits away. So you are left with this. Okay. And then what you do is, well, there's two ways of doing it. You can then put that straight onto your fabric if you want. If you want to cut it absolutely precisely, then you just pop it straight onto your fabric. But otherwise, sandwich it in between. So if you've got a June Taylor Teflon pressing sheet, then use that. sandwich it in between here and press. Is it a special thread, Natalie? It's a high spun polyester that I'm using. Just because it doesn't snap, and I always run it through Thread Magic anyway, so it's all nice and smooth. But that's what I tend to use because it's just durable. So just press it on, pull it off. Those bits that were hanging over, they just go onto the sheet and you can just get rid of them like that. Same with if you're using a Teflon one, great. And then when it cools, just peel it off. And if you've got any little wispy bits, just tuck them under. It's quite easy to do. And then let me show you what you're left with. So now you have all that glorious English paper piecing. And again, I will do this now because I've got Emily's big quilt that I made her, English paper piece quilt. I've just got to add a sashing on and I was wondering how to do it. And I will do it this way and then quilt it on. But can you see? It's almost like a bit of a shine to it. That is your Mr. Fuse on there, ready to be added wherever you want. This is not stitched on. This is Mr. Fused on. Look how durable that is. It's amazing stuff. I love it. I love it. It's fabulous. And it's not adding any bulk because it's just like we've added, in terms of depth or whatever, it's like we've added a little web, little spider's web on there. But without the spider, because that would be creepy and weird. Love spiders, but not near me. Thank you very much. We'll come back to that. So that's that is one application of that. We now need to make the rest of it, right? Let's do that. Let's do that. Oh, that was the other thing that I wanted to show you. Okay, if when your pleather arrives, and the same with your leather, if it's been folded up, which it will have been, or it's a bit scrunched up or whatever, again, you can press it, but put something on top. Okay, and actually I'll probably do that from the woven side, but just put something on top. And there you go. That all comes out. So it went from that to that. All right, so it can be done. Just go gently. If in doubt, just go with a cooler iron rather than a hotter one. She says, with it on absolute hottest, hot. There we go. Okay. So these are cut. All of the numbers will be in your instructions, or you can make it to whatever size you want. But the tops and the bottoms, oh, it's not very well cut, is it? Will be the same size. And I need to cut now. What are we going to go with, right? I first thought when I looked at these, I was like, oh yes, like that looks lovely, looks really lovely, but the English paper piecing I felt just got a little bit lost. So that's why I, in the end, thought I'll go for cream, like a vanilla-y colour, and then that'll all show up beautifully, I tell you, beautifully. So let's just cut a little strip off here. I see, Gemma, that your very beautiful daughter has decided that she needed a mask out of, you know, the good stuff. Good girl. Cannot fault that. Right. 4.5 inches I've gone for. Rotary cutter. I keep promising myself a new blade and then forgetting to put it in. Whoops. That's why. And then, so this is, again, this is the same size as the leather that we've done. If you've got your stripology ruler, great. Crack on. If you haven't, ooh, maybe you want to invest in one. I still have. I know that not everyone has stock of the extra large stripology ruler. I do. I still do. Now, with the little bits left over, just trim them up, because what we are going to do, well, you can do it with either this bit or with some of your lining. The lining might look quite nice, actually. Press those bits. Here we go. Press, 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 press. I am getting you those mini irons, by the way. They are on the list and on their way. Right. What I also need to do now is cut my my whatchamacallit. What do I call it? H640, yes, to the same size as these bits. So there is a little bit of cutting to be done, but like I say, you're going to have loads left over, and that's always important to me, because if you enjoy making something, you might want to make it again, or it might just go horribly wrong the first time, in which case you might need to make it again. It won't, because you'll follow the instructions. I'm being mean. But again, today's project was very much one of those things, like, I know a lot of you have invested in the Teflon sheets. I know a lot, or the Misty Fuse, the Goddess sheets, which always sounds a bit weird. I'm not sure I would have named them Goddess sheets, if I'm being absolutely honest. If you haven't worked with H640 before, where's it been all your life? See those little dots there? They're little glue dots, and they are going to melt beautifully onto your fabric in a good way and just fuse themselves on there. If you want a quilt, you know, like, go for it, but this means that you don't have to anymore. So I'm going to put my fabric on top of there. Now, in case I didn't cut this beautifully with my stripology ruler, then I would put it into my little wallet. Oh, did I make sure that I had that? Well, this is the other thing, isn't it? Is that half the time I go in and I've got the dots around the wrong way, the glue dots, and I end up gluing it onto my ironing mat or something. If you do, when you've got it under your little Teflon sheet, it doesn't matter. It'll just come off, which is great. Absolutely great. I think I've told you this story before. I was really tight, and I used to be like, whoa, that much money for a bit of Teflon? Phew, I'm not spending that. And consequently wrecked loads of irons, which actually cost far more than a single Teflon sheet. So actually now, I am a big advocate, and I use it all the time, and it has once again saved me many, many, many an iron. You know, what was I thinking? What was I thinking? Don't know. There we go. On the selvage, there it gives you instructions. I think it's like 15 seconds or something. You're meant to hold it on there. And again, this can be washed and everything else. Fur family are fabulous. Yes, Elizabeth, they are. They absolutely are. Mine are bonkers. You know, Susan, yeah, you said you're going to use up your stash. Absolutely do. Do. There we are. Oh, Janet says that she has emailed the info out. Good job. She'll get onto that, I'm sure, when the show is finished. All right. So Do you know what? I didn't cut this pleather with my Stripology ruler, and I don't think it's beautifully cut. I'm just going to, bear with me people, I'm just going to even that up. You get really spoiled, but that makes a difference. I tell you, it does, it does. I used to be, oh yeah, you see I really haven't cut that very well at all. I used to be a little bit more slapdash. And then once I started getting, look at that, the right tools for the job, it does make a difference. Now I'm slightly out on that end, but will forgive me for today. Oh, I'm so glad that you like that. You like the fabrics. I'm always looking for beautiful fabrics to bring you. And yeah, I was really thrilled with that find. And to be able, and so this is it. So if there are other fabric, I've now found the way to get these things cut for you. So if there are other fabric collections that you see me have and enough of you want it, then, you know, absolutely, let's crack on and let's get that for you, shall we? I'm going with a 1/4 of an inch seam here, right sides together, with my pleather, and I'm going to go 1/4 of an inch down here. If you want to go more than that, do. Absolutely do. Oh, looking good already, yeah. Now, this is where you get to be the designer, because obviously we now need to add on this. Now, the way I did it, and it's my design, so I'm allowed to. Oh, no, wrong one. There we go. Okay. So the way that I did it was the old-fashioned fold it in halfway. Yeah. There you go. And then fold that in half. Diddly-dee. And match those up along there. So let me spin this around for you to see. I wanted kind of that showing. Now I couldn't be bothered to cut those off, to be honest. So when it's done, like when that seam is on, I wanted it to just be poking up like a sunrise. This was what it was for me. It was like an English paper piece sunrise coming up out of the pleather or leather bottom. And that was what I wanted, because everybody does the whole full 6, 7 sort of bits. And I was like, well, let's do it a little bit differently. Of course you can. I mean, you could just do like a little corner patch, or have it just sort of coming over there like that with your... If you wanted to do that, of course you can. I just wanted to do something a little bit differently. So for this, match up my middle marks there. And I've just put that on around about 1/4 of an inch. So it'll be caught in the seam, but not a lot caught in the seam. And then we go back into the wonderful world of pressing. Okay. So now that that Mr. Fuse is attached to that English paper piecing, and I know I've got that on the top right hand corner, I've swung it around obviously, so I know that I'm pressing correctly, so I'm not going to get everything gunked on my iron, which is great. And you can check it. Yeah, lovely. You can hand stitch that on. Like if you don't have Mr. Fuse or anything else, and you've got lots of time, then crack on. And you see, that's what I love about it. You can peel it off. But there it is, on there, perfectly on there. Yep, beautiful. I'm going to show you that on a close-up. And what I really love is that it sort of beds in, nestles in to the fusible fleece. And if you want to then go ahead and just whip stitch around there, then do, or blanket stitch around there, or if you've got a blanket stitch on your machine and you want to use that, or a little tiny zigzag, and you want to go, is that the international sound for a zigzag stitch? Then you can absolutely do that. But now I'm going to go right sides together, and I'm just going to stitch along there. Like so. Ooh. I've got a thread caught on the foot. Hang on, bear with me. No wonder it's all, look. There we go. I have released it. Right. I guess you are going through a few layers. So if you want to go steady, then do. If you want to put your walking foot on, do. Look, that's how that looks. I think that's great. You can finger press that down. If you want to go in and just top stitch that down so that that seam goes down there, then you can. You absolutely can. Don't think I'll worry about that, but you can if you want to. What was the other thing I was going to say? Oh yeah, you've got those little sticky uppy bits. Just chop them off. I don't care, do I? Just chop them off. You're not going to see all of this because we're going to do the lining now. All right. So, zips. That's what I need. Zips. And oh, and actually to measure the lining pieces, right? Lining pieces are really going to help. Any other messages that I need to know about? Oh, Elaine's emailed and always got a friendly and quick response. We do try, although poor old SJ's having a few internet issues at the moment, and she's suddenly realised just how reliant on technology her house is. She's got one of these fancy schmancy homes, which is sort of all done off Tinternet, and I suggested that she just do stuff by candlelight. She's like, even the lights go off like the internet. That's very clever. Until it doesn't work anymore. Right, let's have a look. Hang on, what am I doing? I've got this upside down. I'm not thinking, am I? Right, let's measure, because I can't remember off the top of my head. Being honest. Okay, 8.5 inches. Let's do that then, shall we? 8.5 inches, here we come. Bink. And that will have to be by 9 inches, I believe. Let's chop those salvages off. So 8.5. Oh my goodness, you have so much left over. You are going to easy peasy be able to get 2 out of this. You just need an extra zip. I'm going to cut this bit in half, that leftover bit, or actually just into, where's my zip? I'm going to steal out of this kit, aren't I? That is 1 inch wide. Just going to cut myself a little inch long bit here, and you'll soon realise for why. Right, let's get rid of that. Fold that in half there and cut. What we are doing is making little zip tabs. And apparently a mess. That's the other thing I'm making today. I am making quite a mess. If you've never made a zip tab, it just means, what am I talking about? This bit. Oh, no, hang on, come back. There we are. This little bit here This is especially important if you are working with a metal zip, because when you sew up the side of your bag, you don't want to be sewing over that. Okay, I caught it the other day by accident, shattered my needle, and I'll be honest, my machine has made a slightly strange noise since, because part of the needle is still in the workings and I can't reach it and I can't get it out. And my little magnet that I would normally go in to get such things out at, it's down the back of the radiator, because my daughter thought she'd thrown my car keys down the back of the radiator, and in trying to get my magnet to get my car keys back out from behind the radiator, dropped the whole lot down there. So now I'm really screwed. Anyway, that you didn't need to know the workings of my household for that either. But just another great day in the McCarthy household. So a little zip tab on there, and it also means that you can make your pouch a little bit longer as well. Oh yeah, this is lined in Tim Holtz. Nice, isn't it? Okay, so we're going to do that little tab. Was the long-winded reason for doing that. And I would fold it in half and press, and then open it out. Dink, dink. Do you want this on this camera? There we go. There we go. Ah, here we are. So fold it in half, then fold it in onto that fold line. 1 and a 2. And then fold it up and on itself again. Basically like making binding. If you've ever made binding and you're not like me and buy it pre-made because you're too lazy, then, or time poor. Let's say time poor rather than lazy. That sounds better. There we go. Fold it in. Fold it in. And I mean, if you want to, just fold it again there. Wow! If you want to have it nice and crisp, whew, little spritz of your old best press. And you go, oh. And then that just goes over this flippy floppy bit of your zip. Like so. And then just stitch across there. I'm really teetering on the edge of the camera there, aren't I? Let me show you this. I think I need to get up and change the angle a bit. So there it is. Just fold it over there. And then literally just stitch across there. Now I'll do this as if I were working with a metal zip. So I wouldn't go, you know, you're not going to go over that bit. And I just tend to go across, because as soon as I actually sew that in, all of that is then going to be encompassed there. Do the other end, like so. And if you want to, and this is also, if you've got a zip that is the wrong length and you've had to cut it to the correct size, this is another way that you can just keep everything how you want it to be. There we go. So, my way of doing zips you have all seen, and you all know. Right, this is where I need to just be need to concentrate. I use quilted tape on my zips. I've now got it in stock, because there was nothing quite so annoying as someone saying, and I use this, and you guys not being able to get it from me. So I've actually got it in stock now. I'm just going to take a moment, because I have a new thing whereby because this has got a motif on one side, right? Oh, I want to, when I hold the zip, I open it like that. So I want to be holding the bag with that towards me, and then open it. Am I just going, here we go. So when I'm putting this together, and I have to do this because my brain does not work yet, no matter how many zips I do, so that I can actually work this out the other way. When that is in, yes, that is going to be on the right side. So I need to put some tape along the top there. It's just how my brain works. I have to actually physically do it and then work it back. And then I have to double check it because it's amazing how I can manage to flip these things just in an instant. It's like when you've cut lots of pieces to chain piece on a quilt, how you can just flip them. So my zip runs along the top there. Why do I use quilter's tape? Because then I don't have to pin anything. Hooray! And let me just double check. Yes. So when that is turned back, look, I'm going to have the zip on the right hand side, and away we go. And then I get my lining, and my lining fabric is going to go right sides to there. For years, it didn't matter how many zips I did. I always had to go and find a book somewhere that would tell me the sandwich, because I used to get it so wrong. There we go. This is the wash away version. We also have just the normal quilter's tape, normal one, if you want. And then I'm just going to open that up, move that zip down a little bit. And actually having that end bit on just helps keep, when I open that zip up, helps keep that in the right place. I am going to go to my machine and pop a little walking foot on. Oh, hello. What's going on? Ah, gosh, things are jumping around. For those of you that have just bought the DX7, by the way, I had someone message me going, I have no needles, it's meant to come with needles. Get hold of this bit and lift it up. You've got a whole other secret compartment in there, which I always forget about. And it was only when someone messaged me the other day going, oh, can I get some needles from you? Because my machine didn't come with any. I was like, really should have. And I know also a few of you are waiting for your DX. They did come into stock, which was great. And then they were shipped. For some reason, they took out all of the instruction manuals. So if you got yours and before they realised that the instruction manuals had all been taken out of the boxes, then yours, it will be being sent to you. If you are still waiting for yours, it's because they realised and didn't send any more out until the instruction manuals arrive. So I was so careful as well not to put them up until I knew the stock had actually arrived in the country, and then that happens. I've stopped part way along, by the way. I'm opening it up. I'm going to close that zip because life is too short to try and argue with it and wiggle it around and wiggle and waggle and everything else. No one's going to see, quite frankly, on my stitches. If I go just a little bit back from where I was, because the whole zipper foot thing just slots back in, you're still going to get that lovely continuous line. I haven't had to do that whole trying to lift the back of it up and nightmare, don't do that. And then, so that's that all stitched in. I will do that and I will just press gently to one side, and then we're going to top stitch down here because there's nothing worse than getting teeth caught in these things. So I'll press both sides. Well, there we go. We'll do it. Let's not talk about it. Let's simply do it, shall we? Just very gently, just press that away from the zip. We've all had that coat, right? That just the zips get caught. It's the most annoying thing. So I just press the zip away, dink, dink, dink. Beautiful. And then sew it again. Ba, 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 ba. Come on, little machine, switch it over. There we go. And then just top stitch down. And the other nice thing about having a little zip tab is that you've got a way to actually start stitching before you get onto the fabric, if you see what I mean. That made no sense, did it really? There you go. So now I know that when that zip opens and shuts, it can't physically catch on any fabric. And then we just repeat on the other side. Are you all right, by the way? You're all still with me? Oh, Christine's going on the TV now. Oh, she loves her goddess sheet. It's just a bit of a weird name, right? Or is it just me that thinks that? I don't know. I always think it sounds like some sort of lady product. I'm sure they would hate me for saying that. Actually, that's really rude. I shouldn't be so rude, should I, to say that about somebody's product. But what about the men that do applique? Do they want to use a goddess sheet? I don't know. Well, they should. I mean, you know, because they're really useful. There we go. Right, that goes onto there. And again, just double check that I've got that the right way around. Hooray! Yes, I have. And then flip it across. You see, otherwise I'd be pinning all over the place. I didn't like doing zips until I discovered quilter's tape. Now, there are two versions. There is the wash away, so that, like, I've used the wash away on this one. So if a little bit pops up, I can just, it'll just dissolve if any of it happens to show through. But it is a little bit more expensive. So if you're not really worried about that, then great, crack on. Use the less expensive one. There we go. And I also put it on the bit that I'm not hopefully going to stitch right through as well. Because whilst I haven't had any problems with it gunking my needle, let's not tempt fate, hey? So to the machine again. I can start slightly off because I've got my little keeper. And then whee! Oh, hang on. Gosh, I've gone past the zip. Oh no, the zipper's here. Right, okay, we know what to do. Finish off. Slip it out from under the machine. Move that zip out the way. Thank you very much. Back in it goes. And honestly, no, I can't remember now. I'm coming like my mum. I speak to my mum and she can't remember if she's told her news to my brother or to me. So sometimes we end up having the same conversation, which is absolutely fine. Because I love talking to my mum anyway. But I can't remember if I've told you guys or the guys at Hochanda. And I've completely forgotten what it was I was going to tell you anyway. Who knows? There we go. All done, ready to go. We'll press that and top stitch it back. What was I going to say? That's going to drive me mad now. Are you watching this morning, Mum? You all right? My mum doesn't stitch. She knits. Although that's not true, actually, is it, Mum? Because she was watching Helen's show yesterday and suddenly realised she still had a crewel work kit that I bought her. Gosh, was that for Christmas? Or a birthday or something? With the daylight lamp, we got you that, didn't we? Yeah. So she's frantically knitting Freddie a blanket. And you might be thinking, oh, you know, he's 6, a bit old for a blanket. I think she started it when he was about 16 months and then got distracted. But it is a gorgeous one, actually. It's a Wallace and Gromit one. So all the little squares have got different characters on. I can't wait to see it. It's been Mum's kind of lockdown project. There we go. Now you see you can just slide that past there now, and that's all fine. Whee! Down we go. Yeah, still absolutely no clue what I was going to say. Oh well, never mind. Right. Back on the mat, back on the mat. So we're now looking like this. Yes, indeedy. Yes, we are. We're not going to need that again, I don't think. We are back on the mat. And we are going to flip right sides together. Now, something that I always have to double check myself on is, which way do you fold the zip? Which way? Which way? So let me pull that lining out there. For me, if you want to get it looking like that on your zip ends, like that, then fold it. That's your posh outside bit. Fold it like that. Okay, that's all I'm going to say on that. If you've got wonder clips, etc., 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 use those because don't go putting pins if you can avoid it through your pleather. I realise I do like a pouch. That was my my perfect piece pouch. But I use them for everything. As is my daughter now. She loves to put everything in a pouch. Take it back out again, put it back in again. So all I'm doing is trying to match up those seams. It's not the end of the world if this bit goes wrong, but it is really nice if it doesn't, is all I'm going to say. And then if you want to, you can just clip that there. I'm not normally a clipper or a pinner, but where you've got that contrast, that two-tone, I would just do that there. Right, do you know what I am going to do today? I'm going to treat myself to actually mark out the turning through gap, because I keep doing that as well, chatting so much that I forget to, and I just keep going. And before I do anything else, what's she doing? What's she doing? Open your zip. That could have been messy. Open the zip. Everything's pinned like that. And then around you go. Let's do this, shall we? Change my feet across. Bink, bink, bink. And we are good to go. Now, I am no longer using 1/4 of an inch seam. I've gone slightly wider. Sue's late to the party. What are we making? Very late. This one. Making a little pouch. Oh, thank you. Oh, Emma's answered. You're on it. Oh. Rachel says, don't use the Teflon sheet in the kitchen. Someone of male persuasion used it as on a baking tray. Worked well, but now not something I want to use on my precious fabric. They don't understand. The struggle is real, ladies. The struggle is real. Bless them. I'm waiting now for the comments. Well, I'm a man and I watch your show and I don't do such things. Good. Good. I am very glad. If you are using your leather out of your leather scrap bag, then what I would say is use a jeans needle. And it doesn't really matter what size. Really doesn't matter what size. If you are worried about going through lots of layers, again, just pop in a jeans needle. So jeans needles are very underrated, and Alistair was saying to me the other day, because he used to do a lot of work. Now I'm going near that zip. I am going slowly through lots of those layers. Bump, 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 bump. Now I'm lucky with this machine because it will raise and lower very, very nicely as it goes over. And because of the way that the feed dogs, which are those little grippy teeth bits underneath, feed, it will always keep a nice even feel on it. Oh yeah, so Alistair was saying that with some of the leather needles, with soft leather, which is what you're getting in the kit, in the scrap bags, they often, because they're like a knife, so they will often cut the leather rather than sew your leather. So that's why we recommend jeans needles for that. I am just going to spin this and come down this side. It's kind of my new thing to do. The reason that I'm stopping and coming back down on the other side rather than just carrying along all the way around is that if when I get to here, any of it gets sort of caught up slightly unevenly, I'm going to miss having that perfect seam along there. To be honest, I might miss having that perfect seam along there anyway because, you know, it's a bit early. But to give myself the best amount of time, chance here, and the way that it's been pinned and everything. Oh, I'm going to look really silly now, aren't I, if I don't get this right. Oh well, we're amongst friends, right? I've got a wire hanging over my foot pedal, which is... there we go, that's easier. Slowly does it. Over the zips. I would, if you want, I would also say, going over those zips, you can hand crank. Just use the wheel on the side and hand crank. Now, whilst we were talking about machines, can I also point out that at the moment, on the overlockers, we have got £100 off. That deal cannot last for very much longer. Like probably by the end of the week, that's got to come off. Okay, so if you've been thinking about an overlocker and you want to take that £100 off, then please do grab it now. Now, I'm just taking the edges off these corners, by the way. I did put up a post on Facebook, and I just wanted to clarify on this, asking if any of you would be interested if we could manage to get some finance for the more costly machines, the kind of machines that are 1,000 plus type range. Now, I want to make this really clear because a lot of you said that's still out of my price range, and I totally respect that. And some said, can't you do it for 6 or 12 months? I would feel very uncomfortable putting something on such a long term because I don't want to push anyone into buying a machine that might not be able to afford it. And that's no judgment or anything else like that. I just, it's purely, if you are already considering buying the machine, then would it potentially help you if it was spread over 3 months? Not, you know, if you can't afford it, let's make it more affordable. I don't always feel comfortable with that because I don't want anybody getting into trouble that can't, especially in these times, that can't necessarily afford it. So I just want to make that really, really clear. And it was just a question to see if it was something that people had an appetite for, that wanted. So that was why I asked that question. And if, you know, now that we know the answer, we can go forward. And also I wouldn't offer it as well on a longer term, because if I offer a 3-month split payment, I have to pay for that. So if I have to offer it over 12 months, then it just, we don't make a lot of machines because I give a portion to the local, to you, dealership to look after your machine on my behalf while it's in warranty. And you get 5 years on the sewing machines and a year on the overlocker warranty. So that's the other reason, is that you know, part of when you buy from me, you're also supporting your high street retailer. If you don't have a local Dukey retailer, then Dukey themselves will come and collect your machine and drop it back. So, you know, it's win-win. So that's where that is. So yeah, anyway, the point is, if you were after the overlocker, then that £100 off has to come to an end by the end of the week, I believe. I don't want to, you know, toot my own trumpet or anything, but look, it worked. It worked. Perfect. Oh, I'm happy about that. Look at that. Yeah. Boom. Oh, hello. Hang on. My device wants to switch off. Don't turn off. We're nearly finished. All I'm doing is, but if I don't tell you all these things anyway, then how would you know? All I'm doing now is pushing out those seams. Oh, if you want to, by the way, I am going to go the lazy route. You'll notice this about me. It makes me sound like I'm really lazy. I'm like, oh, just do it this way. It's quicker, it's easier. If you want to slip stitch your turning through gap, please do. Right? The only reason that I don't is because otherwise I have every good intention of doing it, and then life happens and I have to, you know, go on a school run or something, and I end up with an entire cupboard of things that need to be hand top stitched. Life is too short. So for me, I just run a quick top stitch along there. So that's just the stitch nice and close to the edge. And you'll notice I just press that seam again so that it's really easy to do. And then, yeah, just trim your threads, pink. And it's done. And then it can actually be used rather than sitting in the cupboard as it otherwise would for a very long time. That cupboard down there, that cupboard over there, still full of things like that. Get your fingers up underneath there. Now with this zip, because this zip is pretty much the same size, you don't actually see much of those little zippy throughy bits, which is fine. But on this one, those zip tabs really helped. So I just wanted to show you how to use those anyway. But look, I think that's gorgeous. And if you get yourself an extra zip, maybe you want to try one of the metal ones, then you can make two out of your kit. So I promised you something that was veggie friendly. There you go, there it is. Of course you can EPP the other side as well if you wanted. There's nothing to stop you from doing that. So that's the leather version, if you want to buy the leather scrap bags and have a rootle around in there. And that is your pleather version. There you go. Ta-da! There we go. And that, as they say, is that. Thank you very much for watching today. Do I have any more messages that I need to? When are we getting the rainbow zips back in? Oh, I will order some more today. It's a cute design showing what's in the bag, yet resembles a little pocket with your work pushed in. Very creative. Thank you. It was a moment. I had a moment. It's not very often. I was desperate for the Anna Maria Horner fabric from a few weeks ago. Which one, Linda? Which one? You still took the time to help us source it for me. Oh, did I? Good. I'm organised chaos. I think more emphasis on the chaos some days. Hoover nozzle pushed into both legs on a pair of tights held tight is quite effective, and can sometimes remove stray bits in your gubbins on anything. Oh, that's a good... what on earth is she talking about? Oh yeah, to get out all my bits and bobs out of there. Yeah, that's a very good idea. Love the dotty fabric, Natasha. Is it Riley Blake or Tilda? Well, this dotty fabric here, this is Moda Grunge. And it's really lovely. It's from the Basic Spot range. Yeah, there we go. It's nice, isn't it? That's in your kit. Anything else that I need to know about? You love the rose gold. Oh, the rose gold spots by Riley Blake. Leave that with me. Let me see if I can get that. Ooh. Oh, Anna Sewing Nut says that the most expensive coat she owned had that issue with the zip. Not impressed. Whoops. Whoops, whoops. Christine says, hi, Mummy Makes. I'm pretty sure that my surname is McCarthy, and everyone wants to call you McCarthy or McCartney or whatever. I mean, it's hard enough. Some people still call me Natalie and I'm Natasha. So names are obviously an issue. So now all of the delivery guys just, Mrs. Makes, I've got something for you, Mrs. Makes. And I don't even go there. Everybody now thinks that my surname is Makes. How do I use the decorative zip showed earlier? Ooh, yeah, good question. I don't know where I've put it. Why don't I source some more, Christine? And I will show you. I will dedicate part of a show to showing you, because I know that you won't be the only one, and I don't have it prepped. So I will, yeah, I'll show you how to do that, and I'll show you what I've made with mine, if that is okay with you. All right then. Okay, it is school run time, so I'm going to Zoom. They're not back doing full days yet. Thank you ever so much for watching this morning, and thank you for all your lovely comments as well. I really do feel on the website like we have such an amazing community, and I love that we have all the names every week. Thank you, that means so much. And but if you would like to like and share the video so that we can get some new viewers as well, and get them into a really safe space where we can all share our thoughts and experiences and know-how, then that would be great too. So thank you very much for your support. Stay home, stay safe, and be careful with whatever you're doing, and I will see you next week. Take care. Bye bye.